Candy Podcast 866. Susie and Sarah Louise reporting for duty.
Sarah Louise. How do I get? What if I got my name legally changed to Sarah Louise?
Lincoln's, I think since you were here, he has more of a fascination with this Louise thing.
Oh, yeah? Probably because
Yeah.
you said it a bunch with me here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's sort of like putting together like everyone's a Louise. He's a Louise. You're a Louise. We're all Louises around here. And
What is Lincoln's middle name? I don't even know.
Elias?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And I believe you were present when that name sort of came into our zeitgeist. That was during the Las Vegas trip when we were with Tiffany, our
Yes.
friend Tiffany, formerly Kathy Griffin's assistant. And Adam was with us. That was when we were still dating. And I think we had a cab driver named Elias.
Oh, my God.
There was like a whole thing.
Yes.
I'll have to ask Adam the origin story, but so you're a part of the middle name.
I love
even
it. I
if
love
it's
that.
not Louise.
That's great.
Sarah got back on the saddle,
Oh,
riding that Pow high.
it's so fun.
Have you tried to tamp it down like right
No.
now?
I am trying. Well, I mean,
That's what I mean.
right now, yes.
For
I
my
am.
benefit.
I am trying to. I'm just trying to be like a regular human. But I just am also. I had so many fun experiences that first day.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realized how old I was. I had a moment on this. I was in a gondola with a family, and this mother and daughter were. This daughter was like talking to her dad on the phone about what food she wanted to get, and the mom was like, "We just ate. How are you still hungry?" And I said the phrase, "Just wait till they're teenagers." And I was like, "Oh no!" I've and then the two younger kids sitting next to me looked at me, and it was like, "Oh, I've drawn the line in the sand.
The enemy.
I'm on the oh no." I thought I
Mhm.
was the cool teenage kid.
No, they recoiled.
And I was like, I was shocked at myself.
Yeah,
for
you were
saying that.
disappointed. Mm-hmm.
I was like, and then I wanted to be like, but I don't know because I don't have kids. Whatever, that's fine.
I'm cool.
Yeah. So I had that funny moment. I had to share.
Wow. Well, you're old, but you're still kicking on
Yeah.
the slopes.
Still kicking, still like, and I was so surprised by how different it felt.
Mhm.
I couldn't even believe it. It was like I had an entirely new body.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I didn't know how just the damage that endometriosis was really doing.
Did you tell me the is this just genetic endometriosis?
They don't really know.
What do you think, Sarah? Has got a theory.
I think it's genetic, and I think that staying in a fight or flight place and being very stressed doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
like inflammation.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes
It's that.
sense.
And anytime that emotions or things get repressed or you don't deal with stuff,
Yeah.
it turns into disease in the body.
Yeah.
We know that. So I think that it's a little bit of that. And every time I try to float these ideas past my, OBGYN they're always like, yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At
They're
least
like,
you're validated.
they're like, they make correlations that I'm even scared to say out loud because
Mhm.
I'm like, let me see the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more anecdotal from what they see and hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like dis-ease causes disease.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Certainly doesn't do us any favors.
Not one little bit. But,
I'm glad you're on the mend.
I'm on the mend. But now I need to figure out where an old lady learns how to do cool tricks.
Why would it be different than where a young lady learns them?
I think it's more like different where a lady and a young man learns them because women cannot be treated so well there is a culture sometimes like it's hit or miss. You either get real people who are really accepting, or there is this type of usually like teenage boy.
Yeah.
20-something boy who's like, get the fuck off my mountain, like that. They're like the locals only kind of crowd, and they're just
And they're
assholes.
not careful.
And they will be dicks. And
I like it.
And you're going to need somebody to like help you, and it's going to be slow. So I've heard that there are ladies only days. And I'm like, man, that's fucked up that we have to have a ladies only day, because that's what that's saying. I got so many messages when I asked that question to Instagram that said, oh, ladies only day, ladies. And I was like, this is fucked that we need it like that because of how bad they are. Come on.
Maybe we should just train our boys to be considerate. How about that idea?
Please.
I mean, I'm not doing that with Lincoln, but I think someone ought to.
You are. He's so sweet.
Someone should be doing that.
He's my favorite.
It's hard. I think that's part of it. It is so hard to train these animals that like we give up.
Right.
I'm like, I'll just get out of the way.
Right. And you're going to put them on a snowboard and send them down the mountain at 60 miles an hour? No, I'm go ahead. After you. I'll wait till it's ladies' day.
We had just wanted to watch a movie as a family. What was it? It was
Interstellar.
The Silent Play. Actually, Adam asked he goes, let's just watch Interstellar. I was like, Adam,
absolutely not.
Yeah, it was the Quiet Place.
Oh, the Quiet Place.
One,
yes,
with Lupita Nyong'o or whatever her name is. And Lincoln refused to watch it because he said it was too scary, and it's not.
What? I'm with Lincoln. That's terrifying.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't see that, but my point is just that, like, in life, he'll do these terribly risky physical things that he shouldn't do, that he should be scared of.
Yeah.
But he's afraid to watch A Quiet Place prequel or whatever the heck.
Okay. It's like the fear in his mind is more terrifying than the fear in real life.
That's not great.
Okay. That is very interesting.
And awful. Let's reverse those. Let's watch the scary movie and stop risking our lives.
I mean, that would make sense in, just staying alive.
Hey, what if you started like a menopausal snowboarder group or something?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine how fun that would be?
Yes.
A bunch of old broads like
I
doing
mean,
cool tricks. I would really be into that. Do it for me.
Okay, I will. Well, I already had somebody reach out to me that's up on the Squid Aquatics team and said, "Hey, you want to go snowboarding together?" And so I've got a buddy already to go up to the mountains with. Yeah, I'm growing.
Things are looking up for you.
My group, and all menopausal women apply here.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I like where things are headed for you.
Yeah. We'll just deal with our hot flashes, have all the windows down. Like, skiing's great for that.
Yeah, I can see why you guys would like it.
Yeah.
Cools you off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've experienced your hot flashes firsthand.
I tried to tame that down
no,
for you. Like,
I was wondering, I was thinking about it today, and I thought, I wonder if she feels that was like understated or
that was way understated.
Okay.
Yeah. It's awful. I mean, now that it's snowing outside, I will straight up go outside and dip my whole body in the snow because it feels like you're going to die, like you're on fire. But,
Well, if you feel like your body's on fire, maybe you need a multivitamin like Ritual, and that is a helpful tool keeping the old body running properly, if you ask me.
I have been so successful. How many years have we been?
This
oh my God, I
is
can't talk. How many years have we been using?
8
oh my,
Right?
my gosh.
I know.
Look at this.
We are so
sorry, I'm bouncing back. This is I'm just like
right. We've got things figured out after all this time.
Yes, it is a ritual now.
It is a ritual, and now they have the Hyacera, which is great for skin, like reduction in crow's feet. Thank you, please.
Hello,
yes. It's just general smoothness, and this is all just science stuff. This isn't some sort of mumbo jumbo. They rigorously test, they validate, they put the third party to the tests to make sure it's legit. And I love the multivitamin, I love their protein, and I love the Hyacera. Start Hyacera to help minimize wrinkles without compromising on clean science. Hyacera from Ritual is a clinically proven skin supplement you can trust. Get 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/braincandy. Start Ritual or add Hyacera to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/braincandy for 25% off.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Me
Okay.
too. Never miss a day now.
Speaking of old broads, as you know, I love a 30 for 30. And they,
yes.
in addition to the feature length, they also have short films of 30 for 30s. And Adam and I watched one this week called Motorcycle Mary. And
I've heard of her.
Did you? Mary McGee?
Yes.
What a gal.
Man. Okay, so tell me everything.
I don't know how old she is. I guess she's in her 80s now, but she is so cute and so infectious. And like, you just see her in the interview and you're like, I want to be her friend. And she's just like, she looks like a normal old lady, but she was the first female motorcycle racer in the United States.
I mean,
and I know, fuck.
Badass
right?
bitch of the week.
Yeah, we could never. We bow.
Yes.
And not only that, but she was the first person, not woman, person to race the Baha 500 solo.
Yes.
I mean,
we've talked
badass.
about this on here, and you're like, those crazy, insane people who just
insane people.
Yes. And she was the very first one. Yes. Get it, girl.
I mean, get it. And since I watched so many of these things, I'm always struck by the ones with the women, particularly like the trailblazing women, like the race car drivers and stuff like that, where it is just sausage fest, nightmare.
Right.
And it's funny because I noticed these themes, like where it's not like you imagine where they're like, I'll show them. It's never that. They just like racing. They're just like, yeah, I just really enjoyed motorcycling or whatever. It's never like some defiant fuck you. It's just gals who had a passion and were like, well, why not?
Right.
And does that surprise you?
No, and yes, I guess. Not really, because I know this type of woman who I imagine she was raised in a garage.
Yeah.
And she grew up with her dad teaching her, and she had that cool dad who didn't treat her any different than her brothers. I'm writing fan fiction right now.
I mean, this is, but I think you're onto something in terms of just like, it was never
normalized.
Presented to them in that way.
Right. And and in the same way, I think about my partner on X's 2, Jordan from The Challenge, and he's so incredible with what he can do with having one hand. And he says that his parents never treated him any differently, and they were just normalized it. And it was like, yeah, just do the thing. And so it didn't feel like he was going out there. I mean, maybe it has a little bit of that attitude, if I'll show them, that just developed on its own. But he didn't, I think as a kid, he just wanted to play baseball and wanted to do what everybody else was doing. And it sounds like that's what these women are doing.
Yeah. In her case, her father actually did leave the family. So she was with her mom, but she had a close relationship with her brother. And it was during the, I guess it was one of the wars. And they lived in Alaska and they had to be sent away. Their mom was a nurse and she had to stay in Alaska, but they were sent off. And so she and her brother went on a train to Iowa to live with family. And so they were sort of like on their own when they were like 5 and 9 or something crazy.
Wow. Oh my God.
They just developed this sort of like ragtag independent spirit. And he was into racing. So then she gets into racing, that kind of thing. But it just didn't occur to her that like, why wouldn't I be able to do it? And then she just did it. It's only a 20-minute film. And it was so fun to watch. But the weird part was, spoiler alert, like there's this weird moment when she's talking about a race and like something went wrong and a motorcyclist went off the track and like a bunch of people, she framed it as a bunch of people got hurt. Some people died and my brother got decapitated. And that's how she said it. Like, it was like sort of just like bullet points of like, this is a gal who's like, you could think it is like, I hate to use the word detached, but kind of that, but
Yeah.
almost
For
like in
sure.
a healthy way, like not in a like sick way. It felt like she had processed it and had accepted that
Okay.
like life has tragedy. It was wild though, where I'm like feeling good and it's like this upbeat, like cool lady. And then she just says that. And I'm like, what did you just
It's
say?
like, yeah.
Right.
Wow. I
But
want to watch that moment now.
yeah, maybe you, because then you could tell me if I'm interpreting it right
I mean,
or if
maybe
it
you're
is like
right.
fucked
Like,
up.
I wonder if just being in that racing environment in life
And
for a
being as
long
old as
time,
she is.
and being old. I mean, my grandma was very like, oh yeah, another friend died. Like
Yeah.
like no big deal.
Yeah. And we're all precious about it. And they're just like, hey, bad news. It's
Yeah.
coming for you too.
Right. Yeah.
Kinda,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, I think, and seeing that she's 80, yeah, she's fine.
It seemed like it.
I can imagine that.
And she said, like, I really miss him and
Okay.
all that.
She said all the right things. Okay.
But I
If
was
she
like,
didn't say that, then it's like, okay, maybe she's just like numbed herself to it.
maybe a
But
little both. But I was inspired by her and I just thought she is really
jeez.
cool. And I really admire people who can overcome
Yeah.
stuff in that way and be like, still, she was super proud of her achievements. She still had joy about it. And I think she felt like her brother would want her to enjoy the things that they
Yes.
shared. I don't know.
And I
cool.
bet, if he died in a race, like I bet she has the story of
Mhm.
he died doing what he loved. And that is something that we all know could happen when we sign up for or when we do these things. I kind of feel like, who has the same attitude are sometimes like rock climbers and that community, the people who, and you're like
knowingly taking those risks.
yes. And like your friend died with you climbing. Like there's always stories like that happen in these the people who are really extreme in those sports, and they do kind of have that acceptance of what
it just
happens.
comes with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to feel that way if you die on the slopes?
No, you'd be devastated and you grieve and you like wear all black for like the next 10 years or something. I don't know. Like you go full Tuesday sacrifice.
Okay, that's what you
But like
want.
Tuesday through Friday, all days. I'll give you a few off.
So like you're telling me I don't want you to be happy.
Do not move on. Do not grieve.
Brain candy's over.
I want there to be a hole in your heart that no one else can refill. Is that selfish?
Right.
Susie, you're my longest relationship. It's the most important.
Yeah, like I can't just get over it.
Right.
That would be so rude.
Or like, what if you replace me? Like, oh, we got a job to do.
Can you imagine? What if I didn't even acknowledge it? I just had someone like wear a wig and like
I'd die. You're just gonna hold a contest with all of our Brain Candy Club members.
At any rate, you people should watch it. It's on ESPN. It's called Motorcycle Mary, and she's a real cool lady. And God bless her. And it did look fun. All the footage and the photos, you think, wow, that looks like pretty fun stuff.
Did I get this right? She did a lot of the stunts in a lot of the movies we see. Is this correct?
Maybe they didn't include that.
No, then it's somebody else. Then I'm thinking of somebody. I'm thinking of somebody else.
She could have.
There's another female stunt motorcycle rider who's like anything you see, it's her.
That makes sense.
The Matrix. This woman is too old to be in the Matrix. But
yeah.
Well,
and she was telling her stories, and she was like, "Yeah." And my friend Steve, Steve McQueen, and I was like, "Oh my God, Motorcycle Mary is friends with Steve McQueen. She is so cool."
Oh my gosh,
I love her.
That would be a cool crew to hang out with,
right? So nonchalant. I want to be nonchalant. I'm so chalant.
Oh, same. Please. It's my middle name. Sarah, Nonchalant. Sarah Chalant Louise.
Okay, moving on. I guess I did want to ask you your opinion about the Menendez thing. I know we've talked about it a lot lately, but given the new developments, like where they're going to re-sentence them and all that, I was just curious, like, how your thoughts were, given that the details and the contours of the crime have not changed. What we know about the crime has not changed. The only thing that's changed is like public perception about whether it's justified. I think that's so fascinating.
I think it may have been what hurt them in the beginning.
That people didn't see like child sexual abuse as like a big deal.
Yeah, and they just saw two rich kids.
Yeah, good point. That was a big part of it. That, like people were envious of their station in life instead of realizing that like nobody cares when you're being abused.
Right.
If they have money or not. Yeah.
So it kind of feels like, okay, it's changed in a way that's more beneficial to them, but I think it was pretty negative, like
right, and now it's like going in the opposite direction.
Totally.
Do you feel like that's strange though, to change sentencing just because like times have changed, or do you think that makes sense?
That is a good question that I don't even know.
Yeah.
That it is, that's where like legal ethics is so fascinating to me, because how do you make that call? I was just looking at something that showed how much our belief on how well the economy is doing is based on whether our president, the president we would like, is in office or not.
That's insane.
And when I saw that, and I'm thinking about what you're saying right now, somehow the two feel linked. That our idea of
what's fair,
is
skewed
and out of our control, or are so influenced by other factors.
Yeah.
That a jury of your peers, like, really? Like, a jury of your peers at the time with the influence of whatever is going on, there's so much that changes.
It troubles me too, though, that if it were just that the public perception about something had changed, that would be one thing. But it's also that there's like the true crime industrial complex.
100%.
These films came out, and then that actually changes their sentence. Oh, I don't love it.
I don't love it either. It's the romanticized. It's
because it's not true for all people. It's just like these very few like celebrity ones,
right? And they tend to
tend to be white people. Yeah, right. It's just something to think about, I guess.
It's something to think about. Ryan Murphy,
right? Sarah's enemy.
I mean, I want us to be on the same side. Everything else, I'm
fine with them being resentenced. It's just the motives behind it that I'm like, that's strange and weird and fraught.
Yeah,
something to think about. Another thing to think about. I want to be on
the same side as Ryan Murphy. So, anyways, not the Menendez brothers. Okay, yes.
Another thing to think about is the friggin' holidays, which are creeping up, and I'm not happy about it because I am not ready. I haven't started anything. Oh, I'm usually like done by now.
That's true. You are good.
And one thing that will help make it easier for me is Jack Black products, which are phenomenal.
I'm obsessed.
Sarah's like their biggest customer.
I am. I'm not kidding.
What is it that drew you to them? This is like men's skincare, body lotion, body care, grooming, all that stuff.
Well, I mean, originally it was the beard lube.
Oh yeah.
It is the best ever shave gel that ever existed on the planet. It's like it's really silky. It's almost, it's just the best, and it stops all irritation. But what I forgot I loved until I went on the website and did a little Christmas shopping for my brothers / myself was their amazing SPF lip stuff.
Because you had an incident.
I hate I get so sunburned. It's the
burnt.
best for skiing. I already used it. My lips not chapped today, thanks to my Jack Black mint flavored SPF 25, super hydrating. And you know how some give that terrible taste?
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah. Because it's like you have sunscreen in your mouth.
Yes.
Right.
Ugh.
But they have
this one's so good.
TSA friendly like kits and stuff, which are great, super handy, great stocking stuffers. And like men need to groom and we need to make it happen because they aren't going to do it on their own, people. Okay. This is a joint effort. We're in this together. This holiday season, if you want simple, effective products that your significant other will love, you need Jack Black. Head to getjackblack.com/braincandy. Use code braincandy for 10% off your order. Once again, that's getjackblack.com/braincandy for 10% off. Make sure you use our promo code braincandy so they know we sent you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just throw that lip stuff in there. It's a little stocking stuffer to yourself.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's debate something.
Oh,
okay.
I love doing that.
This was in LA Times maybe a month or two ago, and it was about the Disney disabilities policies. So for like going on in a different line.
Yes.
If you are differently abled, blah, blah, blah. Evidently, within the last couple of months, they've updated their policies in terms of who qualifies, who doesn't, how they work the whole system. And it has caused an uproar amongst the disability community.
Okay.
Because I think that the motive behind it was that there was some abuse happening.
Some. Please, there are Reddits dedicated to how to beat the system. Don't even pretend.
I know.
Like
this is why
this.
I love it.
Come on.
Everybody knows what was happening.
We all know.
I feel like the regular line was actually shorter than the disability line at this point.
For real. I mean, I was like, come on, we got to. And I think people who are in need of the things that they offer are probably on my side.
Well, that's the thing. The people that are actually disabled.
Yes.
I think we all know it when we see it.
Yeah. And I don't.
But the disability community gets real mad at that.
I know, because I understand that there are.
I don't care though.
Like, if you have a disability that requires that limit where standing in line is not okay to me, I'm like, well, if you're in a wheelchair, you're sitting down, you should still get to stand in the same line. Is that crazy?
That's hilarious. Right? You're like, you have it easy.
Right.
No. So
am I gonna get pushback for this?
No, I think that what you're speaking to is that in a way it's nebulous and like, what are we doing? What is the goal? I think that there needs to be clearer, like, here's what the disability policies are designed to do.
Yes.
And who they're designed to
assist
help.
those who are disabled in enjoying the park in a way that is the same as everybody else.
Yes.
Not, I get cutsies. That's not, we're saying, recognizing this population has a difficult time. They have to go to certain subway stops that you and I didn't have to go to in New York City. So they are going to get a little more help at Disneyland. And if you don't need that help, but you still are disabled, then don't take, it just feels like.
Well, and in addition to just sort of like who qualifies and who doesn't, that's a whole thing. There's the idea of, well, who gets to go with you, right? Because it was like one person with like claustrophobia and then like 25 of their closest relatives.
Exactly. No. We are that. And anybody right now who's getting mad, listening and being like,
no one's getting mad.
Can it? Because you know who I'm talking about, and you know that nobody likes
the abusers.
Nobody likes these people.
Yeah, be mad at them, not us, because they're
Right.
the ones that are ruining it for all
Yes.
the legitimately disabled people.
I want everybody to be able to have the wonderful experience, but come on.
Well, it does involve waiting for all of us,
Yeah.
right?
And that's like
okay.
What
is a problem is if somebody is made like their physical
claustrophobic at Disneyland. I can't. Is that one of the ones that
it was one of the ones
No,
people would go
I'm sorry.
and
Then
be
you
like,
don't
"I'm
go to Disneyland.
claustrophobic."
I'm sorry. That is not for you. Then help, please.
Yeah, because you know what this is reminiscent of? The emotional support animals.
This is like if I said, I'm scared of heights, so no buildings should be over 2 stories tall.
Yeah, everything should accommodate my weird.
No,
shit.
if that is something that you have a phobia of, then
yeah.
Oh, then this is what therapy's for, so we can work on that, so that your motivation can be to go to Disneyland.
The LA Times article that described it did include some stories about people who were legitimately or claimed to be legitimately disabled, but who were then being negatively affected by the updated policies. And I'm sure that's true.
Yes.
I'm sure there are some people who are like collateral damage, and they should be mad at all the people who abuse the system.
Yes. Oh, I really do feel bad for that group.
Yeah. But I think that's a pretty small minority. I think most of the people that are legitimately disabled are still being accommodated.
Those guys get to cut the line.
Yeah.
Those ones who have been there, the fall between like that, then you have to do a little extra work. You have to get a doctor's note, but then you probably should get like a cut the line ticket because we fucked up and sorry, but here's your here you go. And you're the only one who gets that.
Well, and I guess
you can't make everybody happy. I don't know.
When I was reading through this, it sort of connected to me something sort of tangentially related, which is what we experienced when we were traveling, which is that so many people now either have TSA clearance or clear the whatever, that the lines for those sort of like specialized like whatever groups are just as long as sort of the regular general line.
Right.
And that there's this problem. And it's not just with stuff like that. It's also with like airport lounges, right? So like if you are first class, you get in. If you have like a certain kind of credit card, you can get in. Pretty much everyone is VIP now.
Right.
And if everyone is VIP, no one is VIP.
And let me tell you, those airport VIPs don't feel like VIP anymore.
Right.
That they are so crowded and at certain ones it's just
and
like,
gross and people everywhere.
This is the food that you're serving. Oof.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
some. And it's like the goalposts keep getting moved.
Yes.
In terms of like,
well, this is so they can charge us for things that aren't actual, for non-ownership. For these are just access. This is the data.
Don't treat me like shit.
Yeah.
Here's $50, please. Don't treat me like shit. Yeah.
Like, oh, you want your computer to be fast? You got to pay this much for this speed. Like, we're just going to be that's what they're doing for forever. So get used to that.
Yeah. I don't know the remedy. I'm just
laws
noticing it.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And I don't think there'll be an endpoint.
Because don't you feel like that when you're at the airport, that like you want to be like, I'm in this other special group.
It's the best feeling.
But like everyone is in it now.
Right. Now I'm just like, fuck it. I'll just go to the Chili's bar.
Well, that's where it's at.
I know. Yeah.
And we sleep easy because we're doing the right thing, but also because we have the Helix sleep mattress scenario cooking over here.
It depends. Like what you sleep on makes a big difference whether you're getting a good night's sleep or not.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. And I don't know. It feels like for decades, nothing changed in the bedding industry. Yeah. And then in the last like 15 years, things are like cooking.
They figured it
And
out.
I'm happy about it because
Yes.
I'm moving into your territory of like the menopausal woman where like you don't sleep
Oh,
and
you
I
need
need to
all the
set
help you
myself
can get.
up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Please, I sleep with a weighted blanket on top of me now. Yeah, the whole thing.
Right. And so we have partnered with Helix Sleep, and I'm really excited about it because, as you know, we are outfitting our cottages and getting everything set up. And I was so excited to look at their selections because you take a quiz, like what you're interested in, what kind of sleeper you are, whatever. And then they have 100-day trial. So you
Ooh,
get
I like that.
yeah, you get your mattress and then you give it a whirl and you give it a spin.
Oh,
And you see if it's actually as good as they say. If it's not, they come and get that darn thing.
that is, I wish they had that for my couch, man, because that thing is uncomfortable and I want to give it back. So I would love to have that.
I mean, if you are a problem sleeper, this might be the solution for you because you can take the quiz and give this a try. It's like risk free, but also they have amazing deal. They have 25% off site wide. Plus, you get two free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. But if you get the Luxe or Elite mattress, you can get the free bedding bundle, the pillows, the sheet set, the mattress protector, a whole ball of wax. It's awesome. And they have bed frames and all kinds of stuff. So check them all
One-stop shop.
out. Use our URL, which is helixsleep.com/braincandy. And that's on our website as well. helixsleep.com/braincandy. And you will be so excited.
I could have used that when I first got divorced and decided to downsize from a king to a queen. So
Yeah.
everything new.
Right.
You know?
You got to start fresh.
Yeah.
Give it a try if you're in the market. Okay. I'm glad we had the debate. Next up. Okay, I just wanted you to like diagnose this really. This was also LA Times, and they had like this funny video story about somebody in LA in Pasadena off the 134 keeps like leaving bottles of piss on on top of like an electrical box, like just off the highway. Right? Like sometimes like 2 liters.
Okay.
Right?
There's no mystery about this wetness, as you said in New York.
Yeah. The mystery is solved. It is just
I'm sick.
piss. Okay.
God, I
so
hate
there's
that
this
word.
electrical box, and motorists and pedestrians were noticing these bottles of piss on top of the electrical box. And they were like, who would do that?
Yeah.
It's so methodical. It wasn't like random. It's like every couple days, here's all the piss.
Oh,
and
God,
so
stop saying that word. That might be my least favorite word ever. It makes me want to...
So these 2 guys are like, we want to know who's doing this. Like, not to do anything about it or like prosecute them or something, just out of curiosity. Like, what is
just
the
to
story?
shame them.
Yeah. Or just like understand.
Solve the mystery.
So they put like trail cams in the trees nearby and stuff to like catch the urinator. And they did catch him on camera, and they observed how like right next to the electrical box is like a fence. And he was like reaching over the fence and like leaving the bottle on top of the...
I have so many questions.
And so do I. And that's the worst part of this whole story, because the LA Times is posting it and there's no end. It's not okay. We caught him. We see he's doing it.
How unsatisfying.
So I need you to tell me, as a mental health professional,
I don't know,
what would motivate someone to do that? Is it just silly?
I can't even come up with a good... No, that person's got to believe this is something. It feels too OCD, like ritual.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because they're like collecting it. Nobody pees two liters
like
at once.
They've come up. This is somebody who's maybe mentally unstable and has come up with a whole, like maybe schizophrenic, and has come up with a whole story of what this... Like,
It
do you
seems
remember
weird,
that
though, that it would be
episode
methodical.
Would you remember that episode of Hoarders where the woman believed that if she put everything in the sun, it would disinfect it? And so she didn't wash her dishes. She just put them in the sun.
That's great.
And
like, what
the
is this,
sun
like
shine.
food caked on?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Uh-huh. And it was like everything had to be laid out in the sun, and her whole yard was covered and stuff, and she really believed that.
Well,
And so I have compassion for, and I can
well, yeah,
understand
if it
maybe
is true
that.
mental illness.
It really is, but it is. So there is some story that this person has created. I mean, because it's not like the pooper attendant. It's not like our mystery pooper who was like going around and defecating on the school lawns. Like
there wasn't a vendetta.
There was a vendetta.
Yeah.
So this
just
feels
feels like, but that's what makes me crazy about it, because it's like random in a way. There's no motivation in terms
Right.
of like, I'm going to get
that
you.
we know. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's methodical in the sense that
Right.
it's not all over town.
Right. That's why
that
it
we
feels
know
more
of.
like this. I don't know. Maybe it's some weird offering to some. And then where does it go? Does it disappear? That's the question. Why aren't they building up? Did somebody come and collect him?
Well, that's what's annoying in the
Because
story.
he probably thinks that. So, can you imagine you put one up there one day and it disappears? And okay, I can see how this happens. He puts one up there one day, it happens positive to him in his life, or something lucky, and he's like, "Oh, I got to try it, see if it works the next day." And then, I could see how a belief system could start.
In the video, it said every other morning or so, his hand reaches over and drops the bottle onto the thing. And then it said, and then in the afternoon, it gets collected, but it didn't say who did it. Is it him also? Or is it like a sanitation worker? That makes a big difference.
Very important question.
LA Times?
I mean, this is lazy journalism.
That's what I think.
And you should have readjusted the trail cams. Like, what tracker wouldn't do that?
Yes, Sarah.
Okay.
Right?
Amateurs.
Well, and then I'm like,
anybody write articles for the LA Times now?
That's what it felt. I felt like, oh, you're just doing a bit here, and I really want to know who's doing this.
Yeah,
and why.
Yeah. We have questions.
We want to know.
We got a podcast to produce.
LA Times. If that really is your name,
right?
Okay. Well, hopefully they'll update us on what the latest is.
I want to know where I'm picturing that 134. I know that freeway. It's also it's a very small freeway.
Yeah.
And it's one where like the side of the road is right there.
Right. And I think that was part of what they were saying. People get like, hey, what's that piss about?
Because that's often like kind of near the intersection where Banksy that 110. Like,
yeah, things are happening. You're watching, you're looking around.
Corridor thing.
Maybe this guy's an artist. Like, what do they call those artists that are like wacky?
Yeah, what do they call? Fuck. I want to say installation, but that's not right. It's a performance artist?
Yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. Performance artist, where it's like, oh, the piss is like the art. Okay.
And isn't that a phrase? Like he's taking a piss, like he's like joke, like it's a joke, or like he's having a piss. Something like, isn't that like a British thing?
Yeah, maybe he's British. Adam will be like, "Don't take down the Brits." Okay.
I really want to know though. Okay, I'm not going to be able to sleep, and now I don't even live in California to be able to drive by there. Listen, California folks.
Yeah,
you have one mission.
Catch the pisser. Okay. There was a cute article in The Atlantic about why baseball players are always eating.
They are always eating sunflower seeds. Then they're eating so often that they came out with a gum like to mimic how much they're basically look like a bunch of cows out there.
Yeah.
Cud.
That's right. And this
Big League Chew
journalist wanted to get to the bottom of it. What is it about baseball players? Why are they always eating crap?
Yeah.
And it was just the most fun article because it did provide some history, of course, how they began with tobacco and, chew. And then that got outlawed. And so like they had to theoretically had to replace it with something. And so then it was like sunflower seeds.
But why?
Right. But why?
Why? There is...
Because that was for the high.
It's because there's too much hanging out in baseball is what it sounds
Sarah is excellent at this game.
like.
Sarah?
Thank you, Susie.
I went through the whole article being like, what's her conclusion going to be? What is it? What could it possibly be? And that is basically the end of the story where it's like, baseball's fucking boring.
That Susie, they changed the rules of it to make the innings go faster. That we should know something. If the actual baseball rules are like, hey guys, we should probably like change these things because like
yes.
Right? Didn't that
you know
just
how you
happen like a
feel-
couple like this year, last year, something like that? Yes.
They adjusted the rules so that like things were faster paced and the fans wouldn't be bored as hell. And it really should be a red flag about a sport if you have to like change the rules so people don't lose interest. But
You got to
It's
eat to stay
basically-
stimulated.
how we all feel on an airplane is how baseball players feel for every game the entire time. They're like, ugh, when are we landing? And you eat and you do shit to like just pass the time.
Wait, okay. So is
Yeah.
landing in this metaphor the game being done?
Yeah.
Well, what? It's,
Or like
okay,
maybe when
why
they go
are
to
we doing
bat
this?
again or
They're-
something.
Not even the baseball players want to be playing baseball, it sounds like. You get
So the rule is they can't go on their phones. And so
Oh
they
yeah,
have to
thank
sit,
God.
They,
That would be awful to watch. Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine what watching baseball would be like if they were allowed their phones?
they're just like on Instagram.
Oh my. The only way you can get their you like DM them, they look up. That's so funny to me.
Okay, wait.
Oh my God.
Let me do
this
my
is interesting.
It is interesting. Let me do our job real quick and
Okay.
then we'll get back to it. I bet you a lot of those baseball players would stink to high heaven if it weren't for the good people at Lumi. Because that Sarah is pointing to her pit right now because we are wearing Lumi and
Yes.
smelling great.
Did you see my
and-
video I took the other day of me freshening up
Yeah.
before? Because I forgot. I always forget. I put my clothes on and then I'm like, oh, deodorant.
Right.
Yeah.
Lumi's awesome because it smells fantastic. It does the job and it's not garbage. That is all we really want. We want a good solid deodorant. Smells great and lasts a long friggin' time. And that's what Lumi is. And they have a deal for you. Okay. Here's what it is. Lumi starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant. There's the cream tube deodorant. Because here's the deal. You can put it on any part of your body, not
Yeah.
just your armpits. 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and then the free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code BrainCandy15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code BrainCandy15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Okay.
One of our listeners said that they use the forest one just like me and it makes them feel powerful.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That makes me happy. And it works like a charm. Okay, so they eliminated tobacco. Then they're doing the sunflower seeds, and then of course the bubble gum. And then she talked about how like back in the day you'd buy baseball cards, and then you'd get a bazooka bubble gum with it. And bubble gum became like this thing that connected to baseball as well. But it makes no sense because like tobacco is for the high.
Right.
Bubble gum isn't food or a high. It's
Right.
just a jaw thing.
I have another important question.
Okay.
Are they spitting this shit out before they're going to bat?
The gum?
Anything.
No, they're not.
Okay, this is a choking hazard. This is
Haven't you
terrible.
ever seen them? It looks great. I love a good chew.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but like, what you can't be. What if you get caught in a pickle and you're like, and then you just inhale your gum, and then all of a sudden, we have a choking incident.
I think they would you're right, it is a choking hazard, but I think they argue that it's like jaw manipulation and it like keeps you like engaged.
Okay.
Blood flow or something.
Okay, I'll
It's
buy
made
it.
up.
I guess.
Yeah.
All I know is when I was chewing gum during a water polo scrimmage, and somebody's like, "You sure you want to be doing that?" And I was like, "You are absolutely right. This is a crazy thing to be doing right now. What if I bite my tongue off?"
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's a little more full contact.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Although sliding into base, I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying. Like, what if you're just excited?
I'm surprised
Maybe-
there's never been a Heimlich situation.
Me too. We should look that up. Maybe there has.
Yeah,
Has anybody
right.
choked?
Huh.
Probably buried it because they don't want it to stop.
Well, because it is
Cover
such a
up.
big part now of like baseball culture, I guess. But I think that is so funny that you caught on to that so quickly about how like baseball is a really slow, like stop and start type of game. And that like these guys aren't allowed on their phones. And so they have to just sit there in the dugout doing jack shit. And so they need like something to do.
Choreographed dance routines. Like
What's that? Oh,
isn't there that baseball team? They're called like the banana peels, bananas or something like that.
Yes.
Give me more of
like
that.
a novelty baseball team.
That. You know how I know this, Susie, about baseball? Because I have ADHD. You take somebody to like me to a baseball game, I'll tell you in 2 fucking seconds what's wrong with baseball. Because guess what I'm doing the whole time? Eating. Or on my phone.
Yeah, like
the only reason, Sus, the only reason I wasn't on my phone last time I was at a baseball game is because I had great seats that my friend Jesse got us that were in the foul ball area, and I was too scared of getting hit.
Yeah, you got to pay attention.
So I had to be on high alert. But that is it. That is the only reason I wasn't distracted during the game.
Either you're that kind of a fan and or like you're drinking and you know it's not about the game, it's about just whatevs.
Right.
Or you're one of those like data wonks where like,
you're taking down. Yep.
Those people with the scores and the holy shit and all the stats. I mean, they seem real fun.
Right. They're busy. They're occupied.
They're real into it. But like, who would have thought of that? I never would have thought of that. But those people are bored out of their goddamn minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd think they'd have better stuff than just sunflower seeds, though.
Yeah.
Like maybe some chips and dip. I don't know. What would you? I would pick something better.
The problem is how many games they play a year. Could you imagine having a full spread, like halftime or like a Super Bowl party? That many days of the week?
Yeah, like hoagies.
I don't know if that would be the best.
Right, it'd be bad for their waistlines.
Yeah, and their ability to make it from home plate to anywhere.
Well, I do love baseball, though.
I do too. And you know what? That's what it's for. Isn't it America's pastime?
Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
Because it's for that, passing time. I'm sure, if somebody hasn't made that joke before, that is a no-brainer.
Right. Well, God bless them.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing. Okay. I have a couple more things. First of all, evidently Hinge, the dating website, instituted like a new feature that allows people to mute like words and phrases of people.
Okay.
So like if someone puts something in their bio or whatever that you find unsavory, like you won't see it then if you chose that. And this article, I think this was in the New York Times, and it was describing like some of the phrases that might be more likely to be muted and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I want to hear.
And I've never been on these sites. I've never had the pleasure of utilizing a dating site, but I'm fascinated by them, particularly because like it sounds awful.
Oh, it is.
And I just wonder like what these people are thinking. But okay, so here's some of the phrases they used, and I wanted to know your thoughts on them and then like what you would mute maybe. Okay. So like I guess people tend to say the phrase like fluent in sarcasm, like in their bio.
I have heard this is the same person who maybe wears a Dunder Mifflin shirt.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And maybe
like
it's
movie
like a Bernie
quote
bro.
humor.
Yeah.
Oh, Bernie bro. Okay.
I could see this.
Okay, so they say
Fluent
like
in sarcasm, which
they
is like,
think they're
I want
Jim
you to
from
have
The
witty
Office.
banter with me, but if you actually are a female that's sarcastic, and they probably would call them females, then they don't like that.
right.
I can see
Okay.
this. Oof. I'm
They
like
have
fine with the woman who says it and not fine with the male who says it.
yeah, but have you ever known a female to say
No,
it?
what?
No.
Exactly, Susie. God.
Then that some of them tend to have like an uncontroversial opinion, but then say like, change my mind. You know that.
It's the same. This is one type. This is all the same type. This is all the same dude who you don't want to date anyway. This is great. Yep. Keep them coming. All those.
Okay. Pineapple belongs on a pizza?
Well, now those are just fighting words. Oh, pineapple belongs on a pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I agree. I do.
Yeah, but would you put it in your bio? You know, like it's a different. To feel that way is one thing. To put
Right.
it as your like bio tagline, different.
Well, what you're
You
doing
can
is you're
like-
asking for a little like banter, like back and forth. Like
Quirky.
you're inviting. That feels like dating profile clickbait.
Yes.
Sort of.
Which
You
is
know what I mean?
like kind of annoying.
It's annoying because these
You're trying to be cute.
Yeah, these are the standards. What you're basically saying, I want something more than just what I've seen 1,000 times.
That's what you think that person's saying? Because I feel
no,
like they're the
blocking
thing we've
those.
seen.
Blocking
Oh,
those is saying
yeah.
I want
Mhm.
something more. But because
Yeah.
that's why I say the Dunder Mifflin T-shirt, because everybody has that like, how many of those do they fucking sell?
Like we all love The Office,
right?
But then there's this separate person who's like, "This is my personality."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like a go-to, kind of shallow.
Yeah, it's sort of
Doesn't
basic.
offer much. It's basic.
Yeah. Okay.
This is basic boy is what we're describing.
It's 100% boys.
Because none
There's
of this are what
no-
women are
no.
doing. None of this is all basic boy.
What are the women cliches though?
When it's like that, what is one? I have it on the tip of my tongue. It's like I'm serious but funny, but that in essence, like there's a way that's said where it's like it's like a contradiction, like
Mhm.
you know,
Right, like I'm funny about how
I'm serious,
smart
but
I
I could take a joke, or like I take
Yeah.
take life seriously, but I also know how to take a joke or something like that. That's like,
I know the type.
and it's just like I'm
Um,
everything, you know. I
Mhm.
love to go out, but I'm down to earth, like down to earth. That is like
That's so
nobody-
funny because one of the
uses
in my list is I like to go out, but then there's a separate person that says like I like to stay in.
Yeah,
Yeah. They like to identify with whether
they
they're an
usually are in
extrovert
the
or
same
whatever.
bios. That's what I'm saying. That is the one that is the annoying part. It's like you're not everything. I love,
Right.
because what you're doing is you're trying to just cast the widest net, and that
Right.
is not going to find you
A good match.
a good match.
Okay, then the one that was most baffling to me because I'm not familiar is evidently a lot of people say that they love tacos.
There is a thing of like, I know the best taco spot in town. And again, it's that's
I was gonna
clickbait,
say.
because then everybody has their favorite for whatever reason, and it
And
is
you get a
as
debate
different as
about-
it's basically saying this is the best flavor of ice cream, period. And everybody's like, no, it's not. These things are not yes or no. There,
Yeah.
it's a spectrum of likes and preferences.
Somebody said that they were going to mute anything that had to do with love languages,
Yeah.
which I could see like the men being annoyed by that with the women.
Yes, and yep.
And also Myers-Briggs personality typology.
Yes.
Which
I would
totally get it.
because that doesn't actually tell me about who you are or what you value. It just tells me what you've done
That
and
you're
look
annoying.
like introspect. Like it's more self-centered than people think It is.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't know that, but that's sort of the essence of it.
Yeah. Which is fine when you're collecting information about yourself to learn about you, but not when you're then going and presenting that information and saying, this is who I am. No, that's in the same way. I don't know, like a restaurant isn't just the written menu. It's the experience of the food and eating the food. And if you're like, oh, it's
how
just
it's
this
presented.
right. Yeah.
If you were going to go on one of those sites and they allowed muting, do you have any phrases that you would mute? Or things that would be like a no thanks?
Do you have any? Let me think.
I would agree with that. The personality test stuff. I probably would not be into the horoscope scene.
Yeah.
But that's more of a lady thing.
Yeah.
Maybe sports shit, which is so funny because that's all I watch.
Yeah, I would mute fantasy football.
Oh, good one.
Yep. And anything that was like my worst trait is I like the fantasy football. I think that maybe is what Nexus of mine said. And I would mute anything around fantasy football because you can like it, but I know what you're going to do when it's because I have friends, all my female friends play fantasy football.
Yes, that's
they
not
do
the
not
problem.
talk about like it's different.
It's not their personality.
It's not their personality. And so that, yeah, I would mute that.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, for sure.
We should probably we'll crowdsource because I would love to hear what other people have to say because other people will know the right answers for this that I don't.
Yes, because I'm not on there. If I were to even just dip my toe
for real for 10 minutes, you'd be like, I know.
I'd be like, done. No, and I wonder if it's different because I'm not going on any looking for men. I'm not dating men. I'm not going on any straight no. Sorry. So I wonder if it's different for lesbians, for women.
It's definitely different. There are definitely things you should mute, but it's not as
it's like
annoying.
Absolutely. And they are allowed to wear Dunder Mifflin shirts. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's great. You wear your shirt.
All right. Sarah's going to start a menopause snowboarding team.
I love your wrap-ups with it and how you summarize some of the things you talk about because sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, that is the summary. That's the takeaway.
And we just want to give 3 cheers for Motorcycle Mary, who sounds like a total badass bitch, also a totally well-adjusted, functional human being. Yeah. I aspire.
Yeah.
We're just thinking about that Menendez situation and all this true crime hubbub and how it's affecting certain trials and crimes, not others. We hope that we can solve the freeway urine mystery.
Thank you for changing the word.
Why is piss so disgusting?
Okay, you want to know what? Because I was thinking about this as you were talking.
Yeah,
it's the color. There's a color that I picture with piss that I do not picture when you say urine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then with that is a stench.
And it was that color, by the way.
Yep. Because it always fucking is, because that's why you use that word. Because that is what it's a different color when we say urine.
It's not a hydrated human being.
Correct. So, yeah, check those kidneys.
And Disney, they're getting tough with disabilities, and you know what? We'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty much on board with it so far. I think
the disabled community is probably like
baseball players. We're amazed that you can keep your girlish figures despite the nonstop eating and boredom.
Yeah, right.
And dating websites, brutal, but maybe the hidden words thing is a good deal. Yeah. And that's all. That's all for today, Sarah.
Good episode. I loved every single one of these stories.
Me too.
Yeah.
And we love every single one of our listeners. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget, if you forget a code, just go to thebraincandypodcast.com and do us a solid and use those. Yes. That helps us so much, and we love you with all our hearts, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.